has not been a happy holiday season so far for Gene Cady. Purdue must improve to deliver on the coach's Christmas wish list. Dean Smith has already played Santa, delivering to Tar Heels fans 5 fab freshmen: Montross, Phelps, Rozier, Reese, and Sullivan. Holiday stocking stuffer is next. Happy holidays, everybody, and welcome to a Saturday night doubleheader of college basketball. Purdue and North Carolina, our first game. Why is Gene Cady upset? Well, Woody Austin, his star player, ineligible for the second semester because of subpar grades, but he will play tonight, as you may have heard in SportsCenter. Boilers have won 7 in a row. Carolina, by far the toughest team they've played so far. Following our first game, we'll take that down to Georgia Tech and Loyola Marymount. Bobby Cremins got an early Christmas present, career-high 40 points from Kenny Anderson in a triple overtime win over the Georgia Bulldogs. Anderson might get about 60 against Loyola Marymount. You know what kind of a tempo we're going to play. That follows our first game at 9:30 Eastern Time. One score to report. Number 17, Georgia, playing Texas in the Kuppenheimer Classic down in Georgia. The Bulldogs have a 9-point lead early in the first half. It's a rematch of an NCAA tournament game. Come up at halftime. Some more scores and highlights from the top 25, including a thriller between Duke and Oklahoma. But it's off to Mackey Arena. Wayne Larrabee and Bill Raftery up next with the first half. Enjoy.
MasterCard has something special in store for you this holiday. Master Values. Now use MasterCard and save up to 25% at some of your favorite stores. Save on gifts from coats to camcorders at Montgomery Ward. Save on top books at B. Dalton Bookseller. Save on Mattel toys at Toys R Us. Look for Master Values only from MasterCard at these and other fine stores. And master the moment.
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens makes telephone switches that handle 1 million calls in a single hour, carry voice, text, and data on a single phone line. And at 23 research sites in America, the people of Siemens are developing technologies to connect us all to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
The Accord Coupe from Honda. You have to drive it to believe it.
There are those who thirst for something different. Something beyond the ordinary. For them, there is a beer that refreshes like no other. Michelob Dry. Once you've experienced its bold taste with no aftertaste, there's no going back.
The ACC is always a Premier League in college basketball. The Dean of Tobacco Road is North Carolina's coach, Dean Smith, now in his 30th year at Chapel Hill. The Big Ten Conference takes a backseat to no one, and no coach has won more games in conference play over the last decade than Purdue's Gene Cady. His teams have pounded away in perhaps the most physical conference in the country since he took over in 1980. Tonight, a clash of heavyweights. The ACC and the Big Ten. Dean Smith has his Tar Heels on the road for the first time this season at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. The 6-1 North Carolina Tar Heels against the 7-1 Purdue Boilermakers. Our everybody. I'm Wayne Larrabee with Bill Raftery. Bill, this game being played in Indiana fulfills a North Carolina tradition.
Well, generally they bring an upperclassman, a junior or senior, back to his home area. In this case, Rick Fox from nearby Warsaw. But they get a bonus. The big guy, Alec Montross, Eric out of Lawrence North, gets a chance to come home. So the tradition lives on.
Well, and Purdue will have some problems in their backcourt come the second semester. As you may have heard, they'll lose 2 guards to academic problems, but up front, they are solid with bookend forwards.
Well, Oliver and White, you can see the shooting percentage, and I think more importantly for Gene Katie is their ability to be active tonight. They have to be creative, find some passing lanes for the guards.
Well, you know, North Carolina is a little helter-skelter defensively with their traps and their full-court pressure. How will Purdue deal with that?
Well, they're so unorthodox, you got to find a passing lane, and one thing, don't kill your ball, and everybody has to get for it.
All right, we've got a good one. Intersectional matchup, ACC Big Ten, North Carolina and Purdue coming up next from Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana.
Your family has always known saving is important, Lillian Marie, but it became even more important when you came along. Now your parents and I are thinking more and more about your future, your braces, your first car, college. We want you to have it all, and saving will make it possible. And I know your money will be safe and growing at Home Federal. So rest easy, Lillian Marie. Your parents, Home Federal, and I are already working on your future.
Here's one big reason why you should be in church next week. Your children. Whatever their ages, there's so much they can learn in church about life and love and positive values, about families and faith and hope that only God can give. So bring your children to church. You might learn something too.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball, North Carolina versus Purdue. Brought to you by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealer today. And by Michelob Dry Beer. Once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there's no going back.
Wayne Larrabee, Bill Raftery. We are in Mackey Arena, West Lafayette, Indiana. The Tar Heels of North Carolina, the Purdue Boilermakers. Let's take a look at the starting lineup from North Carolina. Encamped to the moment around Dean Smith, and the guy to watch up front, Bill Lynch. Tremendous legs. He is a great leaper, George Lynch out of Roanoke, Virginia. And also for the Purdue Boilermakers, their starting lineup. Under Gene Katie, Trice gets featured here because he is going to be a key, especially starting with the second semester. He's a freshman point guard, good quickness, and appears to have the kind of markings you look for in a point guard, and that is the ability to see the floor and make the right decision. Gene Katie, in his 10th year here at his 11th year, I should say, at Purdue, 7-1 this year. Purdue in the home whites, North Carolina in the solid blue with the white trim. Take a look at what the Boilermakers have done on this floor. Eric Montross controls the tap, and North Carolina sets it up. Rodel on the wing. There's Montross up high.
A lot of activity.
Rice for 3. King Rice gets North Carolina off.
Bonus, and he's nailing the outside side.
Purdue sets up on the half court. That's Jimmy Oliver up high. There's Travis Trice, freshman out of Princeton, Indiana.
Straight up man. Of course, they'll front, make it difficult.
There's that cross-court pass they were working against with for the Carolina pressure. Austin for 3.
Good spacing.
Henrik Rodel. Fox left unattended.
That's got to be refreshing for him. He's got about 25 people here. His old coach.
Gets him off the mark. Trice guarded by Rice. Got a violation here, traveling violation coming up on the Boilermakers. Woody Austin in the corner. The thing that Purdue was working on offensively in their half court was to work against the North Carolina traps. And part of it is to throw the ball, spread the floor, and to throw it from one side to the other. Montross can't handle it inside. A good quick pass down low. Carolina turnover. They've struggled at times this year with the turnovers.
That's what's dangerous about that, Wayne, though. Nice back pick, wide open, just didn't squeeze and caress the basketball.
Opening 2 minutes of play, first half. This is Travis Trice. Well, what an education for him, being played by the senior King Rice.
Well, there's the problem when you pick your dribble up, if people don't respond by cutting.
Austin looking for his shot. Fox picks him up.
See, Rice is zoning out front there almost.
White finds McNary. Fox the rebound. Henrik Rodel. King Rice for three. Austin takes the brick.
Good run here.
Chucky White has to pull up. White looking for help now.
A lot of face guarding. Really makes it tough because you don't see it enough.
Purdue laboring at the moment. Plenty of time, though, left on the shot clock. Oliver for three.
When you shoot the ball that well, it really drags the defense out, takes away a lot of the pressure that Carolina normally brings.
George Lynch, great athlete. Lynch left alone. A lot of open shots in the first 2 minutes of this ball game. Travis Trice, or T squared, had it knocked away by Fox from behind. Nice defensive play, couldn't quite recover.
I'm not a math major, but you've got to count the people ahead of you. And you've got to know there's one missing. That's part of the game. So T squared doesn't know how to add.
Well, it's algebra, isn't it?
There's that cross court, which is really creating problems for Carolina. Dragging the defense, space.
Woody Austin gets the step. Oliver for three. Jimmy Oliver is shooting almost 50% from three-point range, and he will have to give them the outside shot when they get to Big Ten season next month. Rice and Montross working. King Rice to Montross. Lost the handle on it. Here comes Oliver. Austin for three. McNary stepped down the baseline, ran out of real estate.
You notice with that pass, Carolina runs to the ball defensively. So when it's thrown cross court, they hustle, try and go to the far side, split the basket, and it's exceedingly difficult to do.
Pete Chilcutt, a 6'10 senior out of Alabama, comes on in place of Eric Montross. Montross may have been a little tight here tonight in front of some of his hometown fans.
Eric really had two good passes that he didn't squeeze. Maybe just a little tight. But last week against Alabama, he showed he can play some low post offense.
Lynch. Boy, he's tough.
Knowing your way in traffic. He hasn't been on the LIE in New York, but I'm sure he can find his way home.
Oliver for three once again. Hit the top of the backboard. It'll belong to Carolina. 15:46 left to go. First half of play. Purdue leading North Carolina by 2.
Chicagoan Don Klusendorf loves his company car. According to Don, a salesman who's always on the road, he needs the immense amount of room his new Honda Accord provides for his impressive 6-foot 5-inch frame and, of course, his samples. Now that is not just a lot of hot air.
This month, an HBO original movie reveals how a bomb killed 270 people in an airline tragedy over Lockerbie, Scotland. How did the terrorist group plant it? Could these groups have stopped it? The government, West German police, airport security, the airline. See the shocking inside story of Flight 103, as it would only be told on HBO.
Rick Fox played his high school basketball in Warsaw, Indiana. Our correspondent Mark Patrick talked with him yesterday and asked him if this is a homecoming for him.
In a way, I spent 3 years of my life here, some of the key years of growing up, and I played my first basketball here, and it's exciting to be back.
Who do you look forward to playing in front of?
Basically my friends and the Guardians that I lived with for 3 years in Warsaw, my high school coach and athletic director, friends that, taught me a lot when I was here.
North Carolina picks it up on the half court. Rozier, the big man in the middle, another freshman. There's George Lynch on the wing.
And they're going to talk to Gene Cady, but that hurts Carolina. Lynch was on his way.
You get a look at Gene Grossman. He is the math teacher at Warsaw High School that Rick Fox lived with when he spent 3 years at Indiana. Played a year of high school basketball at Warsaw High School.
What happened there is Gene Cady was up. Froggy Paparo really hurt Carolina. Lynch was on his way to the goal. An unusual occurrence.
First foul of the ball game called on Woody Austin. Two-shot foul coming up. That's the first foul of the ball game.
How about those numbers?
Gene Cady has done it all. You think about Big Ten, you think of Bobby Knight, you think of the winning record he's had. He's had a tremendous record, but Cady actually has won more conference games over the last 9 years than has Bobby Knight at Indiana.
Ask anybody in coaching. Just watching them in their shoot-around today, the organization of this guy, the skills to communicate, and you know why they win. And, of course, he's had so many lofty positions in amateur basketball.
Davis keeps it alive at Chilcutt. Phelps. There's Lynch. Cliff Rozier, double team down low. Lynch is the open man for three.
Inside out. And of course, Rozier with that great drop step ability. Notice the fronting in all spots. They make the first pass to the front and the help by Rozier. They get the push off.
Got a push on McNary, the freshman down low, redshirt freshman. His first, the second on the team.
It's a zone when you really break this down. The front by Chilcutt, the recognition, that's the running to the ball, which is why you can make them pay by going over the top. But it's got to be high because of their size.
Derek Phelps out of New York City. Lynch, Chilcutt.
Great help down there by Austin. Both clubs very alert. Weak side defense getting to the basket, splitting the middle.
Lynch trying to hit Davis, broken up nicely by Travis Price, and last touch apparently by Hubert Davis. It'll belong to Purdue.
They're a little different in their look. They'll deny the basketball. They'll open up differently than Carolina will. They'll face it here as Trice does a nice job.
Chilcutt drives it loose. Double dribble. Double dribble on Phelps. He could not control it at the midcourt stripe.
If I'm Jim Cady, I'm a little nervous, though, because that's the first double up they've seen, and they reacted very poorly.
Cady was talking this morning about spreading the floor, making the cross-court passes. Stay out of the Carolina traps. Sometimes those things can happen. Austin on the follow. Ran out of real estate to the baseline and dribbled on the end line. It'll belong now to Carolina.
The help philosophy on both teams, very consistent. Of course, interesting with Fox coming back in. You and I were talking to him out here about where he wanted to go to school. And he had it down to what, Purdue, Indiana, Georgia Tech, and chose Carolina. I guess that warm weather had a little something to do, huh? A little bit like Nassau.
Yeah, really. Well, Georgia Tech's not in a cold city by any means.
No.
And as we surmise, well, Purdue made the Final Four of that. The outside, it won't go for Hubert Davis. McNary the rebound and got a foul on Fox trying to reach in and pry it loose. That's a foul a coach hates to see, Bill, that far away.
Just get back and get on the D. Of course, the master right here, year in and year out. Last year, I think, was a tribute to his program. When you think that they weren't as talented as other teams, but get that far in the NCAA. Now he's restocked, retooled, and has some length on the bench.
Dave Barrett coming in for Travis Trice. Barrett is a senior tri-captain. He's a baseball player, pretty good hitting outfielder in the Purdue program.
Scrappy. That's what you like about him. And here's a shooter.
This is Matt Painter, a sophomore out of Muncie, Indiana. I'd like Painter to help out from the outside. They played him a little bit of point guard earlier this year, and he was uncomfortable, and it really affected his offense, his shot. But he's a good passer and a good shooter from the outside normally.
He looks like a wing shooter, but there's that tough pass. The entry, you almost have to dribble into the forward spot to get it down low.
Oliver, boy, you can't be pass lazy against this team. Oliver. White has it knocked away by Rozier. Here comes Derek Phelps.
Phelps is going to be a good player. Nice to have him coming off the pines. That was not for him. Should have let it go.
That was for Hubert Davis.
Yeah.
Coming up, Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Denver and Seattle, a great matchup for the AFC West. Those two teams are traditional rivals in that division of the AFC.
But they're pulling the string nice to get people free.
White. Oliver keeps it alive, and Painter comes away with it. McNary inside on Chilcott and Rozier. That's going to help that young freshman. He struggled the other night with foul difficulties and didn't score a point. Here's an unforced error right here by Derek Phelps, and as a result, Purdue will get another shot at it. McNary may be, in the end, for Gene Cady, a very important key to his season. The development of the pivot position is going to be important for Purdue up front.
Well, they shoot the ball well enough. You need some low post offense. But interesting enough, Dean Smith counters with what used to be called the blue team. They get Fox with a little touch foul.
That's the second on Fox. Carolina has some reinforcements coming in. Second on Fox, third on the team.
Reese, Salvatore, Sullivan, Harris. I'm always intrigued what kind of defense they get into. Now they're probably, let's see if they're going to zone the out of bounds. But with a new group, if they're as effective in their man-to-man or not.
Team fouls, I should say, are even at 2 apiece. 2 fouls on Rick Fox for North Carolina.
And Wenstrom being the 5th guy I left out. Straight up, man.
Chucky White. Wenstrom had good position and would not yield. Boilermakers have been laboring on offense in this first half.
White can do some damage here.
White inside, and a foul coming up. It's on Sullivan from behind trying to swat it away. Well, that's first and the third on the team.
Wayne, that's the activity we were talking about earlier. In the low post, Chucky White is quick. Just has good anticipation and can spurt to the hole.
Back into the lineup, Matt Painter for the Purdue Boilermakers. He replaces Jimmy Oliver.
Katie substituting here. That conversation about Rick Mount's boy Richie was interesting. He said he felt the boy wasn't happy. He doesn't feel he left the school, but he was unhappy. It's not good for him either. And of course, the history of Rick.
It was an awful lot for the youngster to live up to. No question about it. Gene mentioned it was the type of thing where, you know, as a program, they had to go after him and recruit him. But it was really almost a no-win situation for both sides, because when he doesn't play, when he gets there and then doesn't play, people ask, well, how come you're not playing Rick Mount's kid? And it's a real tough situation. You try to play the best players in your program. Reese out high, another freshman. Wenstrom tied up by McNary, alternating possession. It'll go to Purdue.
Well, you've got to keep it high but away. Look at the smile. He can smile. He's got some warmth and charm. It's not all aggressive nature with the officiating. He does have a twinkle, doesn't he?
Yes, sir. Dean Smith looks on from the Carolina bench. Purdue leading by 1. We have 8 minutes gone by this first half of play. This is Dave Barrett. Woody Austin. Austin on the follow.
Quicker to the ball. Nice little double screen there. Here's the switch. Look at the reaction.
Tough pass into Stanback. Ian Stanback unable to handle it. A freshman out of East St. Louis, Illinois. We'll be back.
Feel free to hum along. The Civic hatchback from Honda.
Why does one person excel above all others? Is it motivation, raw talent, desire? Is it personal satisfaction, intelligence, luck? There's no magic formula, and there's really no secret. But there is Soloflex. Because Soloflex is designed and engineered with one thing in mind: your body's needs. And we've created the finest, most complete, and simplest system to attain those needs. With Soloflex, the reward is yours. For a free brochure, call anytime.
Second half of our doubleheader tonight on ESPN. Kenny Anderson and Georgia Tech against Loyola Marymount. And I'll tell you what, Kenny had quite a night the other night.
55 minutes and the tank was still half filled.
He had 40 points of that game, did he not?
Phenomenal. Dorm was talking about. There's Gene Cady, of course. He roomed with Bill Guthridge, Dean Smith's assistant, out in Kansas. I'm telling you, I hope Gene had a lot of money on him because Billy's got the first one he ever earned.
They
were paid for the groceries.
They were at Kansas State.
Yep.
Out in Manhattan, Kansas. Just about in the heart of Kansas. Purdue on the attack.
Good help.
Stanback lost his footing and the ball, and he is injured.
Remember he said to us today he had the hip pointer?
Yes.
Or a problem. He was very awkward in the players' room, which we use for our production meeting.
Yeah, he may have aggravated the injury here. Let's see if we can pick it up.
And just an example of the help side, the front, and now you get the support. Montrose is picking things up quickly.
I think he got it right on the hip.
That's a big man coming over to help out.
Stanback going to be helped off the floor here. Now coming off now pretty much under his own power. A rebounder, good inside shooter. Hits the offensive glass is what they really like about him.
The back, right? The nickname?
The back, yes. Ian Stanback. Purdue leading by 1 as North Carolina sets up.
Inside low post screening, box to box. Montrose very tough down in that area.
Chilcott and Montrose in the same front line. King Rice on the drive.
Now, they don't really beat you with the bounce, but if you fall asleep, they can.
Barrett gives up the dribble. Chucky White, transfer out of El Camino Junior College a couple of years ago.
Of course, he's had to say hello to his folks and his old coach. If he made that one, I would have used his name, Coach Andrup. Now at St. Mary's, had him at El Camino.
Rice fell asleep at the wheel, and Painter capitalizes on the steal.
Good offensive skills. You mentioned the difficulty at the guard spot.
Traveling the call here. One turnover begets another, and Carolina gets it back without giving up any points. Gene Cady not happy with his team at the moment. That turnover, Painter comes out. Jimmy Oliver's back in for Purdue. How about this for substitutions? Already in this ball game, we still have over 10 minutes to go, first half.
Concession guys will be busy because Carolina sells out programs. You got to get one to know them all.
Yeah. Fox. Chilcott really hits the offensive glass. Foul is on Dave Barrett. Barrett's first. That is the third on Purdue.
Look at the checking out, the banging underneath. Montrose really moved out. He's going to have to learn to establish position, but Chilcott, great game against Alabama last week. Wimp still crying over that performance. He got away from him. Tuscaloosa youngster. Wimp Sanderson. They're going to be awfully good, I think, Alabama at the end of the year.
So will this North Carolina team. If these kids are able to blend in with the veterans Dean Smith has, this will be a tremendous team by tournament time. 3 out of 4 at the free throw line tonight so far for Chilcott. North Carolina by 3. We've been tight throughout. There's the long lead to Riley.
Good support by Chilcott. Montrose deep in the backcourt.
Barrett on the drive. And the right fielder makes it.
He's got some spunk. Nice looking kiss. A little softer in their denial now.
Lynch. Chilcott up high again over Riley for the rebound. King Rice penetrates. George Lynch. No.
Montrose with the pick.
Montrose picks up his first personal. That is the 4th team foul on Carolina.
Backing up that defense on Dean Smith right now. Forcing him to shoot the 3.
Dave Barrett sets it up.
They got everybody on the baseline, sort of a 1-4. It eliminates the help out on the dribbler.
Riley looking to turn on Montrose. Darner. Link Darner from the outside, unable to connect. He too is a freshman from Anderson, Indiana. Rice. Rebound was poked away from Carolina. Lynch. Here comes Barrett. Darner in traffic draws a foul.
Chilcott over a little bit late. Purdue is very offensive-minded. They'll beat pressure and take it all the way. They're not going to back it off. They're a little bit like Gene. You know, a tough-minded group. The good cut, reacting, and of course the pass. But you see 2 people consistently for Carolina.
Well, Gene told us that he's kind of like Lombardi. He wants to attack a team's strengths, and that's what he'll try to do. Link Darner, I mentioned a freshman out of Anderson, Indiana. This is a shooter build. They have not been able to get him on track yet. Obviously, he's in his first full month of college basketball. There's Montrose heading off, and Henrik Rodel is back on for Carolina. But Darner is a kid they really would like to see pick up the slack from the outside, especially when Woody Austin leaves, when conference season rolls along.
Yeah, it's a tough case, but you got to pay attention to your responsibilities. I think more and more kids are going to have to realize that. You know, this will not be one of Dean Smith's favorite buildings. Obviously, the noise, but getting up and down, he won't be able to play golf this summer. It's going to fatigue him. Of course, Gene Katie just stays up there, so he's close to the striped shirts.
Darner makes good on a pair. Purdue out in front by a point. We're seesawing through this first half of play.
Back cut to a post-up.
Lynch beating Fox, and we've got a foul coming up. Looked like McNary moving in. Second personal on McNary.
McNary paid for it with this. They isolate the backside. Fox with a back cut if you get a back door, but right here, trying to get a free throw out of that, and McNary paid for it.
King Rice. Rebound picked off by Travis Trice.
When Rice takes it out, it's usually a back cut. Purdue backed off, forced him to the jumper.
Chucky White, good look. McNary, yes, and a foul!
If kids can catch in traffic, good things can happen. Great interior passing, and White got up as high as he's gotten up all night, acknowledging his assist, and of course the kiss.
McNary heads to the free throw line. He has 4 points so far tonight. That foul on Henrik Roll is his first and the 6th on the team.
I mentioned to McNary that, gee, I keep up the good play. He thought there was something wrong with me. And he started talking to his teammates, figuring, how could I see it? A little pressure now, counter. And this is the Lombardi philosophy. Fire with fire.
Lynch, but the tip is there for Chilcutt. His first field goal. He has 5 in the game.
So I had to tell Travis Trice to tell him that we get tapes of the team. They get a chance to see them. Pretty.
Oliver missed the puppy inside. Fox there to retrieve. Kenny Harris.
Look at this secondary break. Beautiful.
Chilcutt inside.
Their big guys motor so well, Wayne, that they get other opportunities some clubs don't even think about.
White beating McNary in traffic. Nicely done. He has 7 in this first half.
They've taken good gambles on their post passes. Lynch just a little bit late. Might watch the back cut. Pretty off the ball.
Fox for 3. Price takes the back tap. Got a foul coming up on Harris. That is his first, but the 7th on the team. 1-and-1 opportunity coming up. Dean Smith not at all happy with that prospect.
Great outlook, though, with his young team. I mean, he's honing them for conference play and winning while he's doing it. Guys take chances like this, playing a deep bench. They end up 0-4, 0-5. He wins. It's a tribute to the system.
You know, Bill, he said that he's going to eventually get it down to 8, 9, probably 10 players by the time conference season rolls along. He's played a lot of kids. He'll make almost, he'll play 15 players perhaps here tonight, but a lot of those kids won't get to play when they get into conference action. King Rice back on, replacing Kenny Harris, and they'll have their opportunity now, and they'll gain some experience.
And of course, I like the amount of wins he has, and people like Wayne Larrabee and Bill Raftery telling him how to coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a few of my scalps and many other guys.
You mean
not select company?
You did not dominate Dean Smith in your matchups on the sidelines?
He was very impressed with what we did, though. He stole a lot of our philosophies, and that's what's brought him to this great level.
Lynch on the rebound. Purdue leading it by 3. Under 8 minutes to go. First half.
A little softer man again, backing off. Here's a little trap out of it.
Fox going cross court to Rice. Oh, Lynch, nice move. Montross keeping it alive. Montross has it stripped away. Whew. Stand back.
Let him play.
A group of ACC officials on hand here tonight. Cornelius McNary beginning to feel his oats inside with 7 points. Oliver with that smooth shot. Stand back. Largest lead of the evening for Purdue. Fox drew the foul. Link Darner reaching in and picks up his first. That is 5 on the team.
I'd say Stan is back with that speed for that rebound.
You're such a wordsmith, though, Coach.
They're so quick to the basketball. And, of course, with Gene after you show some speed.
It's a lot of talk here that when Woody Austin leaves in January, that what they might do is move Jimmy Oliver out to the 2 spot and put Stanback in up front, but that would leave them with very little versatility off the bench.
I think they'll play a lot of the freshmen in and out, and of course Painter too.
There's Jimmy Oliver's giving him a great outside touch this season.
They also have that 1 guard front a lot too.
Break of the action, 6:19 left to go, and a hotly contested first half.
1923, Cross Chevrolet Geo started a tradition of outstanding customer service. And in 1990, the tradition continues. That's 67 years of satisfied customers. Satisfied because at Cross Chevrolet Geo, we help you buy the car that's right for you. And we stand behind it 100%. Ask your Cross sales representative about special deals and incentives. Quality, value, and old-fashioned customer service. These are the things that last. Come to Cross Chevrolet Geo, downtown Huntersville, exit 23 off I-77.
There was a time when I couldn't imagine myself buying something from TV. I mean, who knew what I was really going to get? But a good friend told me about Home Shopping Club. They make sure you're happy with whatever you order. Their 30-day guarantee means that if I buy something I don't like, I can return it and get my money back. So I called and ordered, and when my package came, I knew I'd made the right decision. Of course I kept it. Well, wouldn't you?
Home Shopping Club. Great bargains, guaranteed.
Sunday night, the Denver Broncos, armed and ready for this AFC West shootout. The Seattle Seahawks will try to bust the Broncos. Live at 8 Eastern on ESPN Sunday Night NFL. Two explosive teams go out with a bang when powerful Ohio State fires an airborne attack against Top Gun Air Force in the Liberty Bowl. Thursday night at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN.
McNary and Montrose, a pretty good pair of big guys, young prospects just learning the game. It's physical down here. If Montrose had a number, it would have been taken off his shirt here. A very physical play and nothing easy. And it's been a struggle a little bit holding on to the basketball.
Purdue on the attack. There's some pressure in the backcourt now by Carolina. Travis Trice at the point. Good crisp passing at the moment by Purdue. Good ball movement.
Somehow King Rice is zoning outside. Look at the help again.
Stand back off the glass from Oliver.
They're making some awfully tough goals. Defense has been there. Offense on Lynch.
Lynch with the elbow on the offensive foul. That is his first, 8th on the team.
The one thing Dean Smith was concerned about, first big road game, how they would react under these circumstances, and it's part of the growth process. It's a young team. Billy on his right. He wishes he could turn, or to his left. On his right is Phil Ford. He wishes he could turn and say,
yeah.
Phil, go out there.
Bill Ford in college was about as close to God as it gets, wasn't he? I remember covering him when I was in Kansas City. He was the NBA Rookie of the Year under Cotton Fitzsimmons of the Kansas City Kings.
He may have been one of the Archangels because there's only one guy down in that area or that city, right?
Montrose takes the rebound. Under 6 minutes to go, first half. This is King Rice. Fox with a good move. Oh, offensive foul. Number 3 on Fox. 9 fouls.
All of the action off the ball to set up a clear out for Rick Fox. Just gorgeous basketball. A tough call either way, no matter which guy calls. That's one of those bang-bangers. But just gorgeous offensive basketball. Unfortunately for Fox and the Heels, number 3.
Travis Trice.
Don't you love when the defense reacts that way, though? Good attention to business.
Standback did a great job getting in the way of that. Trice. Chilcutt up high for the rebound. He is a good rebounder, isn't he?
Solid kind of a player. Game in, game out. Can make that too.
On the trail, McNary retrieves. Here's Trice. McNary on the turnover. Montross. The foul is on Eric Montross, his second. 10 on the team. Everything's a 2-shot foul from here on in for the Boilermakers of Purdue with 4:57 to go, first half of play.
Now, Woody Austin in the game, he's been out for quite a while. I think you'll see Gene Katie doing a lot of that maneuvering to try and find somebody to complement Travis Trice.
3 more games before the second semester begins for the Purdue Boilermakers, and Katie is uncertain as to whether he'll play Austin in those games.
I think he'll play him because of the situation. If kids respond to you, they pay attention as this youngster does, you'll give them that opportunity. He just narrowly missed making it. It wasn't a matter of being derelict in his duties.
Well, it should be pointed out, as McNary hits 2 free throws for 9 points, Austin would be eligible under NCAA academic rules. Under Big Ten academic rules, he is not eligible under Purdue rules.
A little more forgiving under those circumstances. They're jamming it up great, Purdue.
Hubert Davis for 3. His uncle Walter was a Skywalker at Carolina.
Not a bad performer, huh? They're running their sets quickly. Good, crisp cuts. Barrett that time.
Oliver, there's the cross-court pass. Stand back. Has he missed?
And Woody showing the unselfish side of his play. Boston very team-oriented.
Barrett knocked it away and touched it last. It'll belong to Carolina at the baseline. 4 minutes straight up to go. First half, Gene Cady still has a smile on his face. His Boilermakers have a 6-point lead.
Magic Moments, presented by Dodge. The 1979 NCAA championship buildup was extraordinary as it matched two of the most gifted and spectacular players of a generation. Indiana State's Larry Bird and Michigan State sophomore sensation Irvin Magic Johnson. Johnson led the Spartans to capture the trophy 75-64. Although they would go on to meet time and again, their initial confrontation in Salt Lake City will always be remembered as a magic moment.
What do you call a car that out-accelerates a Ferrari Testarossa or a Lotus Esprit? Out-corners a Porsche Carrera. Has been called the affordable Ferrari by Motor Trend and was named one of the world's top 10 performance car values. You call it the Dodge Stealth RT Turbo. Now choose from 4 Stealth models starting at $16,552. Welcome home, America. Advantage Dodge.
Die Hard, America's most trusted replacement battery. The one over 65 million have stepped up to. Its breakthrough design gives you more power and more confidence from the start. Sears Die Hard, more power when you need it most.
Stay with us at halftime. Scores and highlights from today and tonight. Duke did something that no team has done in 3 years. We'll tell you about it. Let's go back to Wayne and Bill and Rowdy, Mackey Arena.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Let's take a look at the storyline of tonight's game thus far. 4 minutes left to go first half. North Carolina, 3 fouls on Fox. That's going to hurt. And they have not shot well lately. Purdue on a run. And McNary has helped trigger that along with the standback. Carolina basketball under the Tar Heel basket. This is King Rice. Dave Barrett's a scrappy defensive player on him, number 22 in white.
Outside defense. Cushioning, doing a good job. Not much room to maneuver in here.
Look at Lynch get up on that jumper. McNary the rebound.
Speaking of, getting up.
Looking more and more confident as this one unfolds. Barrett with that dangerous pass. Oliver able to trigger it loose. Lynch almost had a freebie.
Very quick getting rid of the ball if they don't have anything right now. Purdue, and that's really helped their offense.
Austin. Oliver.
Great check out.
Good position on the play by Chilcutt, and the fouls on McNary. His third, 6th on the team. I mentioned McNary had foul problems the other night against Butler and did not play a whole lot of that game.
So I believe in playing on. I thought that was a great check out. Could have let it go for McNary. Unusual, too. Draghi Paparo, who's run down the floor, made a few calls in somebody else's area in his day.
Dick Paparo.
Had it done to him.
Edwin Edsel and Tom Corbett are the officials tonight. All from the ACC. Chilcutt on the fadeaway. Has a nice touch inside of 10 feet. 9 points for Chilcutt. Purdue's lead down to 4. Woody Austin. There's the trap. Riley.
Well, they have used all of the floor, haven't they?
Oh, the block by Rozier came out of the rafters to get that one.
Great individual ability, but the reaction to philosophy there. Go and help your teammate. This one almost went out of bounds, but Rozier, one shortcoming. What would you say? Not soft enough with that block, so go the other way.
The ACC handbook, a real animal. He runs like a deer, of course. Riley in some trouble. We mentioned those traps that North Carolina will pull on you. Austin for three. Purdue has cooled off considerably from the strike.
Watch the secondary guys now.
Davis.
Good reversal. Screen down. Easy jumper.
Chilcutt. Chilcutt's heated up. He has 11 now, Bill.
That's where they're toughest, I think. Not the fast break, the second stage of it.
That's coaching. That's discipline. That's the system.
Now, Peter really reacts well. When they need something, he usually comes up with it. He'll have quiet nights and yet still be a major influence.
Oliver on the drive. We got a foul coming up on Chilcutt. Chilcutt at the baseline picks up his second personal. It's a two-shot foul because Carolina is over the 10-foul limit. It's a little different, isn't it? You think of the foul limit, you think of 7 team fouls. Now it's 7 and then 10. 7 to 1 and 1 and 10 to 2 this year.
Hasn't done much to slow the game down, which is the philosophy, or at least the input for it.
Yeah, but you got to sit back, coach, and see what happens over the course of the year. You don't look at the stats after the season's over.
That's true.
Like the baseball people do.
Oliver shooting the ball great, I think. And if he does this during the season...
Rather grim North Carolina bench there.
Well, Dean's watched a few of these. I mean, if anybody else would be plating the nails and a little uptight, but he lets them play, teaches them in practice, and lets them go.
Under 2 minutes to go, first half. George Lynch.
Good action, though. And the defense really doing a nice job fronting the cutters.
Good ball movement, though, by Carolina.
Now, they'll be patient, but look at this Purdue group.
Boilermakers working hard on defense.
Riley fronting the cutter there. See if they go inside, screen away.
Rice the penetration to Lynch.
Now there's the contribution of King Rice. A lot of people want him to do more. He just does what he's told. Good penetration, finding somebody.
Some have said he doesn't penetrate well on the dribble, but he certainly did there.
Well, he won't do it. It's against their brain,
against their
really.
philosophy, yeah.
Like the pass and cut.
Purdue leading by 1. Under a minute to go, first half. Oh, Waston popped wide open.
When your man leaves you, you find a hole. And that's exactly what Austin did.
5 points for Woody Austin. George Lynch.
Montross got him.
Montross double teamed. Rice left open for the 3. King Rice with his second tray of the night. He has 8 points. No shot clock now.
As if they're trying to run a double up. Here it comes. And they get a turnover. Boy, they just don't relax. They'll let you relax.
Lynch to Davis. 5 points for Davis. Under 10 seconds to go. Barrett squares for 3. Austin. And we've come to the end of the first half of play. North Carolina heads off leading by 2 on the road at halftime. Coming up, Chris Fowler will have all the scores and highlights. A big day of college basketball. We'll have it for you. Coming up next at halftime.
Once you pop fresh, you can't stop. You hear 'em, you grab 'em, you want 'em, you crunch 'em, crunch 'em, you crunch 'em. Once you pop Pringles, can't stop, I can't stop, no, I can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
Pringles.
Chrysler announces the Golden Advantage. Cash back of $500 or $1,000 on Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, the gold standard of minivans. $1,000 or $2,500 cash back on Jeep Cherokee, the gold standard of four-wheel drives. And $300 to $3,000 cash back on other Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep Eagle gold standards. The Golden Advantage. The savings are like the quality. Good as gold. Hurry, savings end soon.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball, North Carolina versus Purdue. Brought to you by Dodge. For performance, quality, safety, and value, welcome home, America. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. So Purdue leads much of the first half, but Carolina hoops it back. They have a 2-point lead on the road at intermission. Welcome to our halftime report. A busy day in college hoops, as you might expect, on a Saturday in December. Best matchup of the day in Oklahoma. Sooners ranked number 11, Duke ranked number 9. Not since '87. Oklahoma lost at home. Hurley and the Blue Devils trying to wipe that away. Terry Evans to Kermit Holmes with the steal and the lay-in. Then Jeff Webster. Get busy. He had 32. Oklahoma by 5 at halftime. But Duke, a little spurt here. Hurley, look at the flying layup. He played a tremendous game. Then Christian Laettner picks it off, gives it ahead to Bobby Hurley. Duke, some turnovers, created a little run in the second half. Again, Hurley, Laettner underneath for the jam. Billy Tubbs irate. His team just didn't take care of the ball. And late, right there, Thomas Hill. Duke snaps the streak at 51. Oklahoma losing for the first time to a non-conference team at home since 1985. 90-85 is the final. Hill and Laettner each had 18 points. The Sooners just didn't get to perimeter shooting in the second half. Ohio State and Georgetown. The Buckeyes come in ranked number 7 and unbeaten. But they hadn't played a team as good as Georgetown. They play in Vegas today, a duel in the desert. And Randy Ayers, one of the best young coaches in the game, against a man he admires very much, John Thompson. Dikembe Mutombo was the Sultan of SWAT today. 8 block shots as he tries to pick up the slack for Mourning not being there. More good Hoya defense. Charles Harrison makes the steal, tiptoes in for the layup. Hoya's by 5 at halftime as Mourning watches in a nice suit. Watch the hidden ball trick. Mutombo buys the fake. Perry Carter puts it up and in. Keep your eye on the ball, Dikembe. Then Jimmy Jackson, the super sophomore. Look at the reverse jam. Ohio State wins it 71-60. The Hoyas just didn't have a go-to guy in the second half on offense with Mourning not in there. And Tregley had 13 points, 10 rebounds. Jimmy Jackson, 17 points, although he didn't shoot that well. Number 1, Nevada, Las Vegas, and keep this date in mind. February 10th at Arkansas. If the Rebels win that game, excellent chance to go undefeated this season. Florida State was today's victim, and the fireworks before the game, the fireworks during the game. Anthony here, Greg Anthony making the steal, takes it in for the jam, and then Anderson Hunt will get the ball ahead to Larry Johnson on the break. The running Rebels were running all day. 29-20 at that point. Still more fast breaking. Augment to Hunt to Johnson on the finish. 46-30 at halftime. Jerry Tarkanian's team. Go ahead and laugh, Jerry. 6 minutes without a Florida State field goal in the second half. The fast breaks kept coming right there. Anderson Hunt ahead, and yes, it is going to be a Merry Christmas in the desert. 101-69 is the final lead, as big as 46 points in that second half. Augment had 15 points and 12 rebounds. Rebels won't be tested again for a month when they take on Louisville. Anderson Hunt only played 26 minutes in the ball game, but he shot 5 of 9 from three-point land and scored 21 points and had 3 assists. We'll have more scores and highlights coming up at the halftime report in just a minute. It's North Carolina over Purdue by 2 points at halftime.
There is big-time controversy brewing in Bud Bowl 3. Bud Light's top draft choice, Bud Dry, announced he may give up football and play baseball instead. While it would be the BFL's loss, it would certainly be baseball's gain. Major League Manager Tommy Lasorda had this to say.
You don't see athletes like this every day.
Will it be footballs or fastballs for Bud Dry? For Bud Bowl Update, I'm Chris Burke.
And winds northwest 30 knots, gusting 45 knots. Rain expected to continue till 10 p.m. 5 inches predicted in the 7-county area.
They say that waking up is hard to do.
Which is why GE Clock radios offer features like a lighted snooze bar, easy to read large numbers, 2 wake-up times, one for him and one for her, forward and reverse time setting, don't forget the lighted snooze bar, high-quality stereo sound, a soft nightlight, and, of course, the ever-popular lighted snooze bar.
'Cause waking up is hard to do.
and welcome back to our halftime report. Let's go back to the scoreboard now. LSU taking on Illinois in Champaign this afternoon. You know all about Shaquille O'Neal. When he stays in the ball game, doesn't get into foul trouble, Dale Brown's team is very tough. When he sits on the bench next to Dale, the Tigers struggle. Big day for Shaq, though. When he was in there, look at the one-handed alley-oop. Did have 28 points. A defensive force as well. Rejecting Larry Smith. Get it out of here. 7 block shots for O'Neal. LSU got some of the bounces early on. Billy Griggs gets 2 the hard way. Tie game at half. But in the second half, Andy Petty, the nice work inside. Illini led at 80-76. Dale starts to sweat. Rennie Clemens, the freshman. Nice play right over O'Neal there. 102-96 is the final. O'Neal, a big afternoon, but it's not enough. Larry Smith, 17 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. And Andy Kaufman, another hero for Illinois, 25 points and 9 rebounds. Only shot 8 of 24. Nice from the line, though, 8 out of 9. Moving on now, number 3, Syracuse, taking on Illinois-Chicago. In the first half of the Dome, it is 25-16. Orangemen coming off that scare against Towson State. Number 5, UCLA, on the road against Iowa, and the Hawkeyes have a narrow 2-point lead in the first half. These teams haven't met in 8 years. St. John's against their neighbors from the Bronx, and right now it's the Rams of Fordham, the 3-point lead over the Redmen. Pittsburgh, ranked number 14, taking on Toledo, and Toledo leading the Panthers by 3 points in the first half. South Carolina, ranked number 16, they take on St. Joseph's. At intermission, the Gamecocks have a 4-point lead. They have never lost to St. Joseph's before. Texas and Georgia, a battle of top 25 teams in the Kuppenheimer Classic, and the Dogs all over Texas by 15 points early in the second half. Texas beat Georgia in the NCAA tournament last year by 12 points. Dogs going for some revenge. And East Tennessee State, the Buccaneers, trailing by a deuce as they have moved up in the rankings to number 21. The Bearcats coming off that victory over Minnesota. When we come back, we will have more scores and highlights from college basketball today and tonight. Don't go away. North Carolina clinging to a 2-point lead over Purdue as we check some more scores.
Your family has always known saving is important, Lillian Marie, but it became even more important when you came along. Now your parents and I are thinking more and more about your future, your braces, your first car, college. We want you to have it all, and saving will make it possible. And I know your money will be safe and growing at Home Federal. So rest easy, Lillian Marie. Your parents, Home Federal, and I are already working on your future.
Here's one big reason why you should be in church next week. Your children. Whatever their ages, there's so much they can learn in church about life and love and positive values, about families and faith and hope that only God can give. So bring your children to church. You might learn something too.
Fairly upset-free Saturday of games, judging by that scoreboard. Maryland taking on Lafayette, and the Terrapins are undefeated when they play at home. They're 4-0. They are 0-3 away from home, but they win it by 16 points as Matt Rowe tosses in 26. Wake Forest and Richmond, this game now at halftime, and Odom's team has an 8-point lead over Richmond. The Spiders have lost the last 2 meetings in this series. Another Big Five game in Philadelphia, and Villanova has struggled against Big Five opponents. LaSalle beating them 102-94. Doug Overton had 27 points. It was a 23-7 run for LaSalle in the second half that put that ball game away. Seton Hall taking on Rutgers in a battle of New Jersey teams, and the Pirates of PJ lead at 62-43 in the second half. The Scarlet Knights had the advantage in the series 14-13. Seton Hall could tie it up with a victory. Michigan beat Marquette 89-81. Demetrius Caleb had 23 points, 15 of those in the first half. Michigan led by 14 points. Marquette tightened it up, but the Wolverines hold on. Notre Dame breaks a 7-game losing streak, 84-61 over Portland. Portland just 1-8. The Irish are 3-7. It was a 16-zip run for the Irish in the first half that helped them pull away. DePaul beaten by Oklahoma State 72-70. It's the old-style classic at Southern Illinois, and the Blue Demons are beaten by Big 8 team Oklahoma State. Dayton beat Bradley 91-81, despite the fact that the Flyers had to play in practice uniforms. Their game uniforms did not arrive for the game. Some of the players had to borrow sneakers. It didn't matter. They get the 10-point victory on the road as Norm Greavy had 35 points for the Braves. Reminder, after the second half of our first basketball game, Georgia Tech with Kenny Anderson taking on Loyola Marymount. Part of the Kuppenheimer Classic tips off about 9:30 Eastern Time. And when you come back, we're going back out to Mackey Arena. Wayne Larrabee and Bill Raftery with the second half of North Carolina and Purdue. It's Dean Smith's club up by a deuce right now.
In 1908, one of the favorites in the great New York to Paris race was a motor car built by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens builds over 700 automotive products, from fuel injectors and microprocessors to halogen headlights. Siemens, creating technologies to keep America and the world moving in the right direction. Siemens, precision thinking.
The smallest particle known to man is the quark. Quarks throw a party and form an electron. Electrons form molecules, and molecules form things like spatulas and platypuses. Sometimes the fastest and lightest molecules get together and form a cheetah, or a rocket, or Jerry Rice. Under ideal conditions, they form the Nike Air Trainer TW Lite, the lightest, fastest Nike cross-training shoe in the world. So you can wait 12 billion years for these to occur randomly in nature, or buy a pair pre-assembled today. Isn't science wonderful?
The Subaru Legacy is much larger than the older Subaru, but people still think we're small and boxy. The Subaru Legacy is luxurious, but people still think we're just basic transportation. With 93% registered in the last 10 years, still on the road, we hope our old image wears out a lot faster than our cars do.
Now is the perfect time to see your Subaru dealer for the perfect deal.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball, North Carolina versus Purdue, brought to you by Nike, who reminds you to just do it, and by Subaru. We built our reputation by building a better car.
North Carolina came on strong down the stretch. Purdue led most of the way in the first half of play, and North Carolina grabs the lead at halftime. Hi, everybody. I'm Wayne Larrabee with Bill Raftery. Welcome to Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. Interesting first half, Bill, but when you take a look at what occurred in the first half, very ragged beginning before each team was able to straighten itself out.
Well, I think they got their feet, got comfortable with what they were trying to do. Initially, I thought Purdue moved the ball around very well, and then Carolina late, a little bit more pressure, came up with some steals, and of course, the way they run the floor, they don't let you relax. They pound it down, force of the dribble, get you backpedaling, and all of a sudden they end up with an easy goal.
And they run on offense a great secondary break.
They do, and I think all of the guys contribute with their ability to pass and catch the ball. Obviously, the ideal man to dribble would be the guard, this time Kenny Harris, but all of a sudden this looks like a nice matchup for Purdue, right? Everybody's back, but all of a sudden a little dump off because the five-man, in this case, Peter Chilcutt, who really steps up big when they need him. On the other end, I thought the speed stand back with the putback showed the ability to get to the ball a step quicker than Carolina. That got them going.
And Stanback had 6 points in that first half of play. Look at the freshmen. The story is North Carolina's great freshman class. Purdue freshmen have outscored them 9-0 in the first half tonight. And the other stats. UNC came on strong. I mentioned they hit their last 5 field goal attempts, 6 of their last 7 to shoot a little bit better than 50%. Purdue struggled. As I mentioned, they were out of sync much of the night. And then rebounding. North Carolina held the edge there, although Purdue did hold an edge on the offensive boards. Turnovers, Carolina committing a lot of turnovers still.
And this year they've had their problems with it, particularly in the Kentucky game. Against Alabama, they controlled it, so they're going to have to do a good job with the basketball. And the clauses are here.
Yes. Second generation, perhaps.
And a little warmer.
A little more clean-shaven, I'd say. It is cold outside, but it's been a great atmosphere here in Mackey Arena. There are the individual leaders for you, scoring leaders. Chilcutt, kind of a quiet 11 points. He's just been there to do the job.
He's solid. Steps up when they have to have a big game from him.
So he had 22 points the other night against Alabama a week ago. UNC on the attack to start the second half. Fox knocked out of bounds. Apparently last touch by Fox. He just lost the handle on it. Woody Austin was flanking him, but apparently did not touch the ball.
He's struggling here, too. And the home folks, the coach, the surrogate parents, the whole atmosphere.
I think both he and Montross are struggling a bit. Eric Montross had trouble handling the ball a little bit in the first half. Woody Austin for three to get the Boilermakers off in the second half.
Man-to-man, sloughing off has caused Carolina some problems.
Chilcutt over Oliver. Oh, what a rebound by Lynch.
Oh.
9 for George Lynch.
He was between floors for a while as well, lingering. Got to put a body on him. They ran a nice little play for Woody Austin down screen. Good patience. The sloughing off.
Oliver sneaking inside of Lynch that time.
The sloughing off on the Purdue end's effective, but also Carolina facing the ball has done a nice run.
Chilcutt runs like a deer.
You got to get back and see the ball.
UNC by 3. Opening minute of play in the second half. T-square, Travis Trice. Nice move.
Nice
good look. Foul coming up here on Montross as Chucky White went in for 2.
Kids see people off the jump shot. They find people underneath. But when you think of offensive rebounding, this is one of the more attractive pursuits of the basketball. Strong to the chin and then little touch, kiss. Oh, was he up?
There's White on the other end shooting the first of 2.
Now, you mentioned the ability to jump or good legs earlier. He just seems to know how to go get it. I mean, he anticipates so well. I mean, that's another added dimension, the knowledge.
It's one thing to have springs. It's another thing to know when to use them. And that's very important as well. Although coaches, and you guys always talk about it, quick springs, quick jumper. I mean, some guys can get it way up on the vertical, but they can't do it quick enough to make any difference on the basketball floor.
No help.
Montross inside, knocked away nicely by McNary, and here comes Travis Price. He's outnumbered. Oliver.
Nice look.
Oh, good look to White. His first field goal of the night is an exclamation point.
I think they got a technical. Dean is saying Gene's been up all night, and I think they gave it to one of the coach assistants. I'm not sure, but Dean just turned to Gene saying, Gene, you've been up after them all night.
Well, there was something that was said to one of the officials. Jimmy Oliver fails to cash in on the first.
First 2 free throws when it's on the coach.
We were told it might have been something Dean said. Montross leaves the lineup, and back on is Davis.
I'm impressed with Purdue. They had their action going, and of course Carolina faces the ball, and they're just cutting beautifully to an open area.
Oliver 1 out of 2 at the line. Purdue gets it back.
Remember that little half-court trap was very effective at the end of half-court. You may see a little more of it.
McNary. Oliver looking for room.
Look at that help. Oh. Chucky White cleared his man, so there wasn't any help. Gorgeous offensive assistance.
10 points for Jimmy Oliver. King Rice on the alley-oop pass to Davis, and a foul coming up.
Chucky is thoroughly involved. Purdue just seized the basketball face the ball as Lynch goes up strong, but look at this. I mean, they're not very happy with the play, but they're playing as good a defense as we expected Carolina to play.
Chucky White's first personal foul. That's the first on the team in the second half. George Lynch with 9 points at the free throw line. This man is an athlete. Lynch came in shooting just 65% from the free throw line. Leading scorer for North Carolina at 16.9 points a game. 11 points for Lynch so far tonight.
Extending the pressure, fronting everybody now. There's always a wrinkle, isn't there?
Something new every time he come up the floor.
There's a double and a rotation by Chilcott.
Austin for three. His third tray of the night. He has 11. Purdue's lead is 5. They trailed by 2 at halftime. Quiets the crowd with 3. 7 now for Rick Fox.
But you talk about road games. That's what this is a great help for this young team. Fox, obviously, the elder statesman, but you mature in this type of atmosphere.
North Carolina did play a couple of games at Charlotte, but that is more of a home floor advantage than would be the normal road game. Here's the steal. King, Rice on the feed to Fox. Gets it back. Rick Fox now with 9.
But Charlotte is still part of Blue Heaven.
Yeah, of course.
Well, they had the numbers that time. Purdue not peeling off after the steal.
Rice trying to get it over to Oliver, who stumbled on the play, was unable to capture.
That's part of the denial. Look at him. He's trying to explain how to cut. I mean, the challenge for your offense is every set. You got to get ready to free yourself, extricate yourself.
Carolina, you won't see a lot of dribbling.
Little back screen here for Davis, but he didn't go through.
Fox gets the step on Oliver, who held him.
Chucky White with a lot of messages inside, huh? He's just not going to let anybody throw it through.
Jimmy Oliver's first personal. Second on the team.
That's what Fox can do, though. He can mix it up. You saw the 3. That time you got to acknowledge him. Puts the ball on the floor. And, of course, it tracks Chucky White.
Well, there's the inbounds to Chilcott. Rice takes it back to Davis for 3.
The extra pass. You mentioned a word earlier, tradition. That's Carolina tradition. Try not to force a bad shot. Big trip now.
4 minutes gone by, second half. Traveling the call on Barrett. He shuffled a bit just before he released the pass. 15:51 left to go, second half of play. North Carolina and Purdue trading punches.
Call me irresponsible.
Just because the other guy is on the road doesn't mean his mind is. So the superb traction of the Subaru Legacy with four-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes can be quite a comfort. Since the next guy is capable of almost anything, shouldn't the same be true of your next car? Now is the perfect time to see your Subaru dealer for the perfect deal.
Don't I know you? Nice shoes.
Yo, James, anyone?
Are you sure we haven't met before?
Now, where's that Tour de France thing?
Nice shoes.
I knew I should have taken the right turn at Albuquerque.
Have you ever been to L.A.?
Oh, don't surf. That's what you think, dudes. Might you all join me in a spot of tea? Where'd you play your college ball? What is he doing here?
I thought this was another Bono's commercial.
Has anyone seen Bo's ball? I know, Kansas City. Nice shoes. Nice shoes. You ever play with Bo Diddley?
Traditional centers under Gene Katie of Purdue. Scheffler on the left, Cross on the right. Scheffler self-made, Cross a natural athlete. Watch him at work down here, number 40 with the putback. Scheffler, self-made in the weight room, extremely strong. Watch this move. Ooh, no foul. And the next in the line, perhaps, Cornelius McNary.
He's got the possibilities.
North Carolina has hit its last 4 three-point field goal attempts to fire into the lead by 3. Fox wasn't reading it, but recovers. Ad-libs to King Rice for 3. They've hit 5 in a row from the stripe.
That was a terrific save by Fox, and then the presence of mind to find his teammate.
North Carolina by 6. Austin. Woody Austin with 13 points, 8 of which have come here in the second half.
Woody over 51% from 3 and about 50 from 2. Real solid shooting year.
Fox from deep. Over the back came Lynch, and that's a foul. His second, only the second team foul on Carolina in the second half. Almost 5 minutes gone by in this second half of play. Dean Smith looks on.
Great confidence in his players.
And Rick Rodel comes on.
I mean, part of him using young people, he considers them part of the team, not freshmen. And he just has confidence in what they can do under his system.
You and I talked this afternoon about, when you have this many great players, sometimes you lose them if the kid doesn't get enough playing time. But that doesn't happen at North Carolina usually.
Tough place to leave, huh?
And you talk...
It's a pretty spot.
The team factor is preached so much at North Carolina. Oliver. Back tap to Oliver. Oh, and he's got a freebie. Well, you stay with it long enough, good things happen, right?
And White with a nice screen out.
White set a couple of nice picks here in the second half alone. North Carolina on the attack. Fox gets the step. Lynch on the board. Rodel back up, and he's fouled.
Lynch is a man under there.
Isn't he, though?
In traffic, going up with some wide, muscular types, and able to come up with it. Just a weak side, no body placed on him. And, of course, doesn't convert, but just great elevation.
McNary back in. White leaves.
Chucky is pumped.
Rodel makes good on his first. One out of 2, and Standback recovers. Barrett backed up at the line.
3 people were chasing Barrett.
Barrett trying to hit Austin, taken away by Rodel. King Rice.
Solid. Lead pass. The rest easy. But constant pressure. You really got to have guys valuing the ball and presenting themselves as outlets.
And Rodel is a good passer, maybe the best North Carolina has.
See, the dribbles killed right now. They're in trouble.
Oliver.
You've got to get free while your teammate is bouncing it. Or before he bounces it.
Austin shakes free. For 3. Woody Austin now with 16 points. That's his 4th three-pointer of the night. Rice on the penetration. Trying to dish off to Lynch. Manufactures a shot and draws a foul. Gene Katie wants a different type of call. The foul is on Stanback. Let's see if we can pick up the steps Gene Cady was alluding to.
Well, on the pass-off, he felt as Lynch spun out of this, he kept the foot on the floor. What do you think?
Yeah, good call.
But Gene's been working hard on the officials.
First foul on Stanback. That is the fourth on Purdue in the second half. There's Ian Stanback. Out of East St. Louis, as I mentioned. They'll put some muscle on him. He'll be much bigger next year. Lynch at the line. One thing about these Purdue players, they get into the weight room under Gene Cady.
Well, just to look good next to Gene, you have to. Of course, he's going to be the Pan Am coach, right?
Which is quite an honor.
Oh, what a distinction. The last gold medal, I think he won with the World University team, too.
Yes, he did.
For the United States. So his peers thinking well of him.
Look at the free throws. Lynch with his second, missed a pair. Fox is there. And a foul. Score the field goal.
Big opportunity missed there by Purdue. That's screening out. Is that the
Cornelius
coach?
McNary picks up his fourth personal. That's the fifth on the team.
I think there was a shot of Al Rhodes, his old high school coach at Warsaw.
No, that was Gene Grossman, Bill. That's the math teacher whose family Rick moved in with up in Warsaw. Fox makes good on the free throw, completing the three-point play. There he is on the right side in the glasses black shirt. As Rick mentioned, he spent 2-3 years with that family, and they became his adoptive parents. Rick was born in Canada. His mother was an Olympian on the track team in Canada back in the 60s. They moved to the Nassau, the Bahamas, and Rick Fox felt that to become a major college basketball player, he had to attend high school and play in the United States, and he transferred over to Warsaw. Trice going cross court.
Good ball movement right now.
Austin on the follow. Here's Oliver from deep. The three. 15 for Jimmy Oliver, his third three-point field goal. Harris gets the step. Left it short, but continues on the follow. Davis. There's Chilka.
Rozier, pretty good low post player.
Rozier in close. Chucky White, the veteran, clears the board to Riley, and here comes Woody Austin.
And Cady's really rotated his big guys well, very well rested. And Chucky gets a shape-up foul. Really never got free from traffic.
Third personal on Chucky White. That is 6 on the team. Dean Smith looks on with 11:51 to go.
Great take. Maybe for you, but my hemorrhoids are killing me.
Try Sit Again.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
The Subaru Legacy is much larger than the older Subaru. But people still think we're small and boxy. The Subaru Legacy is luxurious. But people still think we're just basic transportation. With 93% registered in the last 10 years, still on the road. We hope our old image wears out a lot faster than our cars do.
Now is the perfect time to see your Subaru dealer for the perfect deal.
The bustle of the season can wear a body down.
You need a place, an oasis to bring yourself around.
Break from the pace, take 5 from the race. You know the one, McDonald's.
It's Holiday Shopper Survival Days at McDonald's. Take a break where the welcome's warm, the food's hot, and the service is fast.
McDonald's for food, folks, and fun.
It's Holiday Shopper Survival Days at McDonald's.
Make this Christmas an Olga Christmas. Imagine all the classics played by Olga Montero on her magic harp.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
There's Tommy Kearns. He jumped center against Wilt on the 57 North Carolina championship team, didn't he?
Now, wait a second. He did, but he was a great basketball player. Very active at North Carolina and carried some guys by the name of Rosenbluth, Brennan, and Cunningham. Chris Lutz as well.
Harris guilty of a traveling violation.
Great to see him, though. He gets teased about that. But a great win for Frank McGuire, who then hired Dean Smith, and of course, the tradition goes on.
Absolutely. Montross back into the ball game for North Carolina. Travis Trice takes it up. Freshman out of Princeton, Indiana. I think he's going to be a fine point guard in this program.
He's played well. There's now the pressure a little more extended by Carolina.
They really step it up a notch in the second half, don't they? Oliver left free. Nice. Oh, Riley on the tip. Greg Riley's been challenged by the presence of McNary on the roster this year. Montross missing down low. It'll belong to North Carolina.
That was goaltending.
They're going to score it. Ball was coming down when it was knocked away.
Yeah, it was goaltending. You just can't hear the whistles. This is where I think he's going to be effective. See that?
Yep.
You just can't hear the whistle at this point. This is not a place you want to come unless you're well equipped and have a pretty good team with you.
Pretty deep bench as Carolina has. 9 minutes gone by, second half. Purdue beginning to work the cross-court passes a little more now. Riley inside.
Montross with a nice position attempt to rebound. He's a big guy to get around, and Chucky White unable.
That foul on White is his fourth, seventh on the team. Wayne Larrabee with Bill Raftery. We're at Mackey Arena, West Lafayette, Indiana. North Carolina on the road for the first time this season against the Purdue Boilermakers. And we are tied at 58 apiece.
Okay, Katie's teams compete. Extension of him. They really go after people. I mean, they've been outsized a little bit and still able to compete.
Big fouls on White with 4 and McNary with 4. 17 fouls already in the second half on Purdue, and Montross.
Now, Montross and his dad received a lot of letters from people in Indiana for not going to Indiana. But the Purdue people, I guess, if they don't root for Purdue, they root for Indiana. That's part of the family, huh?
You saw the Montross family. 1 out of 2 for Eric Montross.
Nice hedge here in a double. Everybody steps up.
Rice finds Oliver. The foul is on Lynch. That is 3 on George Lynch. Third on the team.
Part of Purdue's success against this trapping type of approach by Carolina is their speed once they catch it. They've been able to dribble by people and make the quick cut, and then the response pass.
Cross-court feed again to Oliver. Gene Katie mentioned basketball passing. It's a matter of angles. Trice. Riley moving in gets guilty of the rebounding foul. That's his first and the 8th on the team.
They've been pretty effective when they've come up higher and gotten things on the baseline or the low post on cuts. Purdue.
Yes.
May see them go to that again. Well, he's got a great look, huh? How'd you like to come home late?
Talk about a scowl, huh? There's the team foul situation in the second half. And North Carolina leading by 1, giving an opportunity. 1-on-1s here in the second half. Unable to cash in. Chilcutt misses. Price to Austin. Austin for Riley.
Chilcutt.
Chilcutt.
Great read.
King Rice.
Here comes Lynch in the secondary, too.
Fox left unattended. Chucky White the rebound, playing with 4 personal fouls.
And Trice with a good judgment. He looked up, saw Riley, and didn't give it to him.
Woody Austin. Lynch the rebound. King Rice on the break. And got a foul coming up. Travis Trice hacked him on the play, I believe.
Pretty good understanding there. Got the angle. Knew he could get some contact. But Carolina, the constant, complementing their pressure defensively with a forceful use of the bounce.
19 fouls now on Purdue. Ian Stanback returns to the lineup for Purdue along with Dave Barrett. Riley has a seat on the bench along with Travis Trice. King Rice at the free throw line.
They've missed some opportunities.
They really have in the second half, Bill. Lynch has missed a pair. Chilcott's missed one. Rice makes good on 1 out of 2. Has 14 points so far tonight. 6 of 12 from the free throw line, UNC.
See if they use the curls off the post down low to free people.
Barrett needs some help.
It's nagging the way they assert themselves. It takes a great degree of patience and energy to cut and expose yourself.
Oliver wanted to go inside a Stanback.
They almost had that too. You see Chucky White cutting? Bring him out.
Oliver finally gives it up. Chilcott. Rice to Reese. And Brian Reese connects.
A talent as well. A lot of good open floor players.
Tell you what, Bob Gibbons, an all-star report, says Reese may be the best pure athlete UNC has recruited since Jordan. That's a load.
Now, wait a second.
Yeah. I said there was hype involved in this now. Come on.
Lynch's not bad either.
Lynch is a pretty good athlete, no question. Barrett. There's Lynch.
Look at this play.
Lynch to Rice. Unable to save it.
That's great basketball, though. Both clubs believe in all-out effort, typified by that kind of a play, huh? The double up by Lynch, the good hands. Now, this is a guy highly ballyhooed, offering it up. Floor burns, a trainer's delight. Keeps you on the payroll. Not one guy, but 2 and almost a third inbounds. That's great.
Purdue basketball. 3/4 court pressure now, it appears.
Get them a little trap out of it.
Matt Painter now takes it up the floor.
When they go over half court, here comes 2 and 3.
Yep, there's the trap.
Yep, and bounced out.
Bounced it on the sideline. Boy, they really disrupt your offensive flow.
Well, we were talking to Gene, the difficulties, you can't simulate it in practice. You can't put that high tension up, and plus the size and quickness.
Turnovers now even at 16 apiece. Carolina committed, 12 turnovers in the first half. There's a brick offered up right there. With the rebound back tap to Reese. Davis. Hubert Davis. Reese to Lynch. I believe White got a good piece of that. Stanback can't hang on. Davis has his pocket picked by Austin. Davis knocks it out of play with hustle, and bodies are all over the floor. Well, this looks more and more like a Big Ten game every minute. They're going to give it to UNC. Timeout. 7:33 to go. Second half. They're not happy.
Shopping all over town this Christmas for the perfect gift? Cool Breeze Cyclery has everything you need to make everyone's holiday wishes come true. Cool Breeze has a huge selection of mountain and hybrid bikes from Trek, Cannondale, and Raleigh. Or ask Santa to lay away a children's bike for Christmas. Cool Breeze now carries rollerblades, year-round fun for the entire family. Remember, the perfect gift for everyone on your list is a gift from Cool Breeze Cyclery, Main Street in downtown Mooresville, and across from Lowe's on East Broad Street, Statesville.
There was a time when I couldn't imagine myself buying something from TV. I mean, who knew what I was really going to get? But a good friend told me about Home Shopping Club. They make sure you're happy with whatever you order. Their 30-day guarantee means that if I buy something I don't like, I can return it and get my money back. So I called and ordered, and when my package came, I knew I'd made the right decision. Of course I kept it. Well, wouldn't you?
Home Shopping Club. Great bargains, guaranteed.
Christian Okoye is tough to tackle, but no one tackles a tough NFL story better than the comprehensive Emmy Award-winning NFL Game Day. Now on Saturdays and Sundays on ESPN. The best moments. There's one! It's an all-hitter! To the best plays, a show that took a year to produce. The Best of Sports Center, Christmas night on ESPN. Coming up, Ben Bennett and I will be down in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl, Ohio State and Air Force All-American Bowl. Southern Mississippi at NC State. That'll be on Friday night, and then the SeaWorld Holiday Bowl follows on Saturday. The Mazda Gator Bowl gets you started 11:30 in the morning Eastern Time on New Year's Day, right here on ESPN. It is Purdue basketball, not North Carolina. The fans were booing for a foul. They wanted a foul on the contact. The inbounds is stolen away by Fox. A poor pass.
And they tried to rest Travis Trice, and they've got a little bit of inexperience in the back court. That could be a problem. Key time now for Purdue. They got to make up for it on the D.
Fox. Got by Oliver, picked up by Standback. No traveling. Lynch can't handle it down low, knocked out of bounds. And they got Lynch on a push.
This is where referees wish they couldn't hear. I thought they may have been booing our close earlier. But right here, I thought a little push maybe early, but just pretty good aggressive basketball.
Yeah.
And it could have been Purdue's ball. Either way.
That is the fourth personal, though, Coach, on George Lynch, and that's a big foul for UNC, and fourth team foul. Lynch has a seat on the bench.
A little different look. They front it on the sideline out of bounds. Now they're behind. You may look for some doubling up on the dribble.
Link Darner is in the ball game now for Purdue. This is Matt Painter.
There it is. They got the numbers at the other end, but the reaction, the retreat, excellent.
Purdue has been ice cold in the last 4 minutes.
The Painter picked his dribble up. He can't kill your dribble till somebody's free.
Boilermakers trying to settle things down. Here's the trap on Painter.
The inexperience a little bit right here.
Oliver, White, they should have an open man. White left it short, trying to hit it over Chilcutt.
Should be
and then is guilty on the foul, reaching over the back. And that is, we have Chucky White for 4 personal fouls now.
The size caused the miss for Chucky White. But an easy call after that, too.
6:36 left to go in the ball game. Changes coming up. Austin and Trice are back in. 3 and 10 in White. Painter and Darner leave for Purdue. Chilcutt heads to the free throw line. Carolina has not shot the ball well at the line as Ian Standback comes in for Purdue. Gave the Boilermakers quality minutes in the first half of play. There's the season story for Carolina. And tonight they're off by 9 percentage points. And have shot the ball particularly poorly in the second half, where they've had a number of opportunities from the free throw line.
Not bad when you consider the atmosphere, though.
Yes.
You're delighted over 50 on the road, generally.
Your teams or Dean Smith's?
Mine. Some nights 40 at Duke. The experienced guards, in a sense. Trice a little more accustomed to running the show. And, of course, Austin back in as well.
A foul coming up here on Davis as he tried to contest Oliver. And on Hubert Davis, only his first. That is the 5th on the team. Dean Smith looking on. Coming up next, we'll see another ACC team. Georgia Tech against Loyola Marymount and Kenny Anderson coming off a 40-point performance.
They didn't put the clocks in tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
There will be no 45-second violations in that one.
No need to worry about it. Price at Austin. McNary on the turn. King Rice comes away with a back tap.
Nice play.
Broken up nicely by Stanback. Carolina will be forced to inbound.
Using all the floor. Good hustle back. Need a stop right now, Purdue.
Stanback, a good-looking 6'7" athlete. Rice on the inbounds.
Perfect trap situation there. Wasn't it in the corner? Oh, you couldn't.
They elected not to go with it. Fox. Maybe a force. McNary takes the back tap. Travis Trice does not have the numbers in his favor. Austin on the trail for three. 19 for Woody Austin. It's the first time Purdue has scored since 11:07 left to go in the game. Again, 5:32 now left. 3-point lead for North Carolina. Fox for three. Make it 6. 6-point Carolina lead.
Austin stepping up. Fox countering. They've got to get good shots here.
Austin. Austin on the follow.
Pretty dump.
Ian Stanback.
Paid attention. He knew he had pulled it short.
North Carolina's lead cut to 4. Fox inside. Nice move to get by Oliver on the reverse.
And one of the few gambles by Purdue. They've been very sound. They haven't given up any alley-oops. And they're not as big as Carolina. They've really paid attention to all the sets.
But Fox, the senior from Nassau, Bahamas, coming to the fore here at a crucial time, and he breaks up that play to Oliver. Take a look at Austin.
This is what you love in your guy. You know when you come up short, but here, this is that nature of his. They would have liked him to look for himself more, they were telling me, some of the assistants.
That would have been a good time right there to let that shot go.
Nothing easy.
Price trying to feed Stanback down low. The pass play denied. Chilcott intercepted. Fox for three. Oh. He is single-handedly beginning to put it away for North Carolina. Rick Fox, 6'7" senior from Nassau, Bahamas, played some high school basketball in Warsaw, Indiana. He has taken charge. Fueled North Carolina's run.
Hey, what's that? Oh, that's that new Chevy. It's an APV. An AP who? Yeah, it's a code. Top secret. We're talking adjustable composite panels. See that? Zero gravity modular seats. Oh, yeah? Resilient luster cup polyurea fenders. And it's got this...
Chevy Luna APV. A very original way more people are winning with a heartbeat.
Biorhythms. Biorhythm? Yeah.
Now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
The thirst for adventure is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary. And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back.
If you choose to finance or lease your new GM vehicle someplace other than GMAC, you might find yourself waiting in line instead of out hugging one. GMAC. Nobody wants to put you and GM quality on the road faster.
When you've been around a while, you have the green light. This is slowing up the offense. Make sure there's some rebounders and drill it. And he has come alive as only your upperclassman can.
3 of 6 from the stripe, 7 of 14 from the field. 16 second-half points, 20 for the game, 4 rebounds. Rick Fox.
You got to be around a while to stroke those with confidence.
Take a look at the three-point shooting in the ballgame. These two teams are not afraid of that line, are they? Travis Trice trying to settle down the Purdue Boilermaker attack just over 4 minutes ago.
Wayne, they got to box him one on Austin, a switch. following him man-to-man. There should be holes in the zone, and he can shoot it.
Painter for three. Davis off the heel of the rim.
They root for him to get on track. They think he's going to get a string of them.
Really, Painter is one of those players that has to come to the fore from the stripe, along with Oliver, when Woody Austin leaves. Or teams in the Big Ten will just start packing it inside.
Look at the cut.
Hubert Davis unable to connect. Lynch draws a foul.
All of a sudden, if you just relax defensively, you'll get guys like Davis free. Good cut, the acknowledgement. But once again, good quickness to the rebound by Lynch.
Woody Austin picks up his third personal. That is 10 team fouls now on Purdue. Up off the bench and coming into the ball game now is Chucky White. White comes on in place of McNary. And at the free throw line, you see there's White and Lynch at the free throw line. Lynch now with 12 points. UCLA trailing Iowa with 17:08 remaining, second half.
Sunday's got them going pretty good.
Yeah, they must be rocking out there.
They put at least Notre Dame early.
Fox able to clear the rebound. King Rice sets up the offense.
Those you can't permit if you're going to win. You've got to get the earned shot. There's a break.
Traveling the call. Dean Smith orchestrating a bit on the sidelines. Crucial time, 3:15 to go. Purdue down by 10. Travis Trice for three. Not bad for a freshman to step up like that in crunch time.
He's a very confident kid. I mean, even in the practice today, he looked like he was ready for this particular game, but they got to get something out of the defense.
Hubert Davis. Standback helped out. Fox coming in on the rebound is guilty of the foul. And that is number 4 on Rick Fox, 6 on the team. 2:48 to go in the game.
I think the problem for Gene is going to be the off guard. I think they're fine with Travis. He knows how to play.
Take a look at the foul situation in the ball game right now. Lynch and Fox, Montross. White and McNary are on the verge of being eliminated.
Straight up man.
7-point Carolina lead.
Roto may not have the foot speed to keep up with
Price.
Woody. No, well, Woody. Now they switch back. Yep. That's right. Okay.
Price operating baseline. Is that an illegal pick?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Set by Chucky White. That would be his 5th. White has had a frustrating night. Team is over the double limit. 5 points and 5 rebounds for Chucky White here tonight. And he fouls out with 2:26 to go.
I don't think he's aware yet, is he?
Now the official, I imagine, will step in here.
Mm-hmm. They're letting him know.
Gene is not going to tell them. He's not going to make them aware of it.
Well, he's looking now as to who to put in.
Yeah.
Probably Yo-Yo, McNary maybe. Now going for some shooting.
Link Darner, number 30, gets up off the bench coming on. This, Gene mentioned, was going to be one of his team's, well, biggest games of the season because it's an intersectional rivalry. You have a program of great tradition, North Carolina. Gene feels that if things break right for Dean Smith and this team comes together, that they could be a Final Four team, no question. So Gene, Katie told us yesterday, says, you know, this may be bigger than some of our Big Ten games here at home.
And White, of course, such a capable player. When you have 4, that was really a play that, you know, you don't want to get involved in with 4. If you're going to pick, make sure you're perfectly still.
Dean Smith, his team is leading despite that agonizing look on his face. 2:26 left to go.
Just chatting with Billy Guthridge, his longtime assistant. They've been through a few wars together.
30 years at North Carolina, Dean Smith. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Travis Trice sets it up on the half court. Link Darner. Purdue trailing by 9. Woody Austin. Oh, tough shot over Lynch.
And a gamble by Fox turned it into an easier goal. They're trying to step up the pressure. They do have some half-court traps.
Under 2 minutes to go. Got a foul coming up here as Austin makes a swipe of the ball. His fourth. Again, a 2-shot foul coming up for North Carolina. Purdue has been over the 10-foul limit much of the second half. Minute 55 remaining. Dean Smith's club leading by 7. Smith has used a lot of players here tonight, but I think you'll see as the season unfolds that he will get it down to his 8-9 that he'll be using and going to war with in the ACC.
He's always played a lot of people, though. That's what's intriguing.
You know, he really has. I remember watching them in Providence at the NCAA tournament back in the mid-70s. He was bringing 5 in at a time on a regular basis.
And now he can bring in a lot of quality with numbers.
Absolutely. 21-13 a year ago and made the Sweet 16 of the NCAA. That was an accomplishment for a team that didn't have the kind of quality throughout the lineup that North Carolina is used to.
I'm not a King Rice detractor, and tonight's game, I think, proves.
Stand back. Hits Oliver. Austin.
Proves how capable he is, I think, when he just does what they want, be the choreographer.
Travis Trice came up short on that three-point try. Rodel the rebound. Minute 30 remaining.
Perfect trap situation. Ooh. Travis got to read it and go up and help.
Link Darner's second personal. Minute 27 to go. And we are at Mackey Arena. There's a look at the situation in terms of timeouts. Both teams are over the foul limit. Possession arrow in favor of Purdue if there's a tie-up.
I think they'll be spending some time on the free throw line, huh? Once they get back.
Oh, no question.
For the Christmas tournament.
They will have to shoot better from the line than they have tonight. King Rice just 1 out of 2 there. North Carolina leading by 8. That was Davis who knocked it away. Chilcutt to Davis ahead of the field. In the end, North Carolina was too deep and too quick for Purdue here tonight. Austin for 3. A brick. Rodel is right there to retrieve.
Now, not much more you can do, really. Woody trying to get some in a hurry.
Oliver denied the pass down low to Lynch. Knocked out of bounds by Lynch. It'll belong to Purdue. Credit to the Katy kids. You don't expect them to quit, and they have not, despite trailing by 80-68, under a minute to go.
I'll tell you, he didn't like that turnover, D. They have the hammer. He doesn't want to give it up.
Oliver for 3.
They got the quick timeout.
18 for Jimmy Oliver. Purdue back to within 9 with 45 seconds left to go at Mackey Arena.
Got enough energy to pull us through?
This is definitely one night you should test all your batteries with the new Copper Top Tester. It quickly tells you if a battery should be replaced or go on its merry way. The Copper Top Tester. A little present. Only from Duracell.
The Chevy Corsica has better aerodynamics than a Porsche 928 and a gas-charged independent front suspension, which helps you hold the road. Corsica also has a new user-friendly interior, which helps you hold the most important things. It's a very comforting way more people are winning with.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
And now it's easy to win with an efficient new Chevy Corsica.
Wayne Larrabee, Bill Raftery. Final 45 seconds coming up here at Mackey Arena. And don't forget, Kenny Anderson at Georgia Tech against Loyola Marymount. That game coming up next. Anderson had 40 points in 55 minutes of play. Triple overtime performance against Georgia the other night.
If he's not tired, he'll exceed that. Jay Hillock, the coach of Loyola, doing the same as Paul Westhead the other night against LSU. They certainly showed a lot of improvement.
Time winding down on this one. And the reach-in foul coming up here on Link Darner. That is his third personal. Purdue tonight, a good effort.
Great effort.
But North Carolina, again,